May all beings dwell in the heart. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be healed. May all beings know their wholeness. May all beings be happy and at peace. May all beings dwell in the heart. May all beings be free from suffering.
Good evening. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and along with my partner Deborah Giusti of the Harmony Festival, we have an amazing show for you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe. As we approach Earth Day, our theme today is what is Mama Gaia saying to us? And so we're going to have amazing musicians and inspirational speakers sharing what they're hearing. And we're going to take you into a beautiful meditation to see what you are hearing. I'm going to celebrate that. So join us. We've got Tina Malia, Jayu Tal, and Cornflower providing our music. And our inspirational speakers include Lynn Twist, Paul Stamets, Neil Rogan, Starhawk, Samantha Sweetwater, Anadea Judith, and many others. Welcome to a wonderful show, and we're glad you're here. And really wanted to take a moment. I'm going to put the spotlight on Deborah Giusti because she is really the person who makes this happen. She has worked so extraordinarily hard these last few weeks. So I want to ask everybody just to, in your own way, bless her, appreciate her. And I am honored to introduce, we're honoring Mother Earth today. Well, this is the mother of Saturday Night Live, Deborah Giusti.
And as you know, it always takes a village. And I want to welcome everyone from my heart. This is so amazing, and you're going to have a wonderful evening together. And in spite of all the challenges that we're going through personally and collectively, this evening has been a huge bright light for our community, and it's been really wonderful to create this every week for you. And the attendance in the community keeps growing and growing, and we hope to continue it every Saturday night during the lockdown, because this is a special time where we can come together and connect and affirm our community and all the values that we stand for. And we'd like you to continue to invite your friends. You can invite them right now. I'm going to put the link shortly in the chat room where they can still sign up on Zoom, and we have it on Facebook. So please continue to invite people. And also let us know in the chat room where you're from and say hi, which is always great. And tonight we are celebrating Earth Day, which is happening Wednesday, April 22nd. And our question is, Earth Day, what is Mama Gaia speaking to you right now? What is she inspiring in you right now? As you know, we've been going through some huge changes, and Mama Gaia, who we see as a spirit, as the spirit of the earth, and who we've been on task to try to be living in more harmony with earth. And we see her speaking up as as we pull back as a human species. She's taking over and regenerating so quickly, and the animals are coming back into the cities and the rivers. I'm sure you've heard of all that. It's amazing. So we're really going to hold that inquiry of what is Mama Gaia inspiring in us now. And you can even talk to that in the chat room, and the speakers are going to speak on that as well. And another thing we do in this show, which is really inspiring, if you go all the way to the end, we are going to have community connections. And what we do is allow the community to come on and give a 1-minute share of what they would like to talk about, including what is Mama Gaia inspiring in us now. So stay to the end, and then we'll tell you how to get back on. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Scott, who's going to give an overview of what the amazing presenters, and the whole schedule that's going to happen this week.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you. So we do have an amazing show today. I'm really excited you can take a look at gallery view of all these incredible people. We're going to have music with Tina Malia, and Jai Uttal is going to take us on a sound journey, and Cornflower is going to bring us his very unique and beautiful sound. We're going to hear from speakers Lynn Twist and Shauna Blue Star. Neil Rogan's going to do stand-up comedy. We're going to hear from Anatea Judith, Dr. Samuel Dismond, Paul Stamus, and we even are going to have some really beautiful wisdom jewels from people like Samantha Sweetwater. And Miranda McPherson, who we just watched the video of that she played, is going to also speak and lead us into a global kind of a meditative prayer. So it's a really full show. And to keep us going, I'm going to turn it over to Tina Malia to give us some music as only she can. Thank you, Tina, for being with us.
I'm so happy to be with you, my whole family, my beautiful, beautiful global family, sending you so much love and prayers here in Costa Rica. And I feel like most of our problems around the entire world stem from this idea that has happened, that as humans we feel like we have become, that we're not part of nature, that we're something different than nature. So this first song I'd like to open with is called The Sound of the River, and it's that call to remember.
Surrender. What else can I do? In every movement, every breath brings me closer to you. In the center of perfection, there's a river free from the horse. Smooth the stone, 'cause I may wander far away, still I'm not afraid. I remember the sound of the river. Remember the sound of the river. I remember the sound of the river. Remember, I remember. Disillusionment runs deep. And oh, how it pulls so strong. But all I need for my protection is our faith to ride upon. For how the cycles move and turn, all the lessons that we learn on letting go. So I place my foundation where the river meets my soul. 'Cause I may wander far away, still I am not afraid. I remember the sound of the river. Remember
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's beautiful. I'm going to have 2 more songs from Tina Malia coming up later in the show. Thank you.
And I'm going to introduce one of my favorite people in the world. And when we were deciding on how to create this Earth Day celebration, we really thought immediately to invite Lynn Twist. Lynn, as you probably know, is co-founder of the Pachamama Alliance, whose mission is to empower indigenous people of the Amazon rainforest and preserve their lands and culture. And from working with Mother Teresa in Calcutta to the refugee camps in Ethiopia, she has been on the case to help support Mama Gaia and our society to live in harmony with the earth. And I know she listens to the spirit of Mama Gaia very deeply in her heart and soul and lives by it. So I'm so happy to have you here, Lynn. And I'd love to know what Mama Gaia is inspiring in you now to say, and what is she saying to you? Thank you.
Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this beautiful gathering of great souls. And thank you all who are showing up. I really appreciate that. I'm going to just say what I think we all know, but has been beautifully spoken by the indigenous people that we work with through the Pachamama Alliance. And I'm going to quote one of the great ceremonial teachers and healers on the planet, a man named Archon, who works closely with us. I'm going to excerpt from something that he said that is really the most beautiful answer to your question that I know of. And he says this: in a deep primordial part of ourselves, many of us have been waiting for something like this to happen. Someone or something powerful and sacred enough had to intervene in order to stop the destruction of the sources of life. The earth herself has now done so. Viruses are made by the earth. And now, as humanity, we are forced to make the sacrifices we could not make from our own will. Painfully now, the sacrifice goes beyond letting go of our comfort, the habits that led to an excessive consumption of goods, not just what we needed, but ones we consume in excess and for mere pleasure, comfort, and entertainment way, way, way beyond our needs. Unfortunately now, there is also a sacrifice of human lives. With deep compassion for those who are suffering, I have to say that the earth is still being kind and gentle, that her way of defending herself could be much, much worse. Pachamama, the earth, wouldn't be doing this, what she's doing right now, unless there's time to change, she says. The capacity that she has to regenerate is simply extraordinary, breathtaking, extremely powerful, surprisingly fast. But we have to listen. The earth is telling us that that moment is now. Change is now. I just love that, that way of looking at this. It's empowering, but it's not a punishment. He went on to say, and another one of our colleagues went on to say, the virus is not a punishment. It's an ally. It's an ally. It's part of who we are. It is forcing us to understand that we're one biology, we're one biological system. We are one with not just one another on Earth, but every living, breathing thing, including the Earth herself. And the fear that's coming up, to me, is really where we need to see that fear is not serving us. If we can see the virus as an ally, and I know there's horrible suffering, I'm deeply aware of people who've lost everything financially, who've lost loved ones, who are ill right now, or who have people very close to them who passed away. I don't want to step over that. In fact, all of that being in our face now, much more than ever before, gives us the capacity, I would say, the strength, the invitation to widen our humanity, our experience of the human journey, to widen the lens of the way we see the world. For those of us on this call, many of you, and maybe not all of you, but most of us are okay. You know, we're conscious, we meditate, we have a spiritual practice. We're not so hooked as many other people are. Perhaps we're caught, like everybody, in consumptive patterns that we don't want anymore. And this quarantine on consumption has not only been a healthy celebration of having us, you know, have to not go outside, but go inside where we know who we are, and reflect, rethink, reset, recreate, reimagine, renew, relook, respect, and regenerate. There's a wonderful phrase from John Powell at Berkeley. He says he doesn't like social distancing and isolation. He calls it social solidarity, because something like this, what we're doing right now, wouldn't have happened without this experience of solidarity that we're feeling with all human beings. And it's spatial separation, but social solidarity. I live right on the edge of a path in the Presidio, and we opened our window and play music and say hi to everybody as they go past with their dogs and their face masks. And there's a connectivity. We're all going through the same thing at the same time. I want to also honor and point out that it's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. The 50th anniversary of Earth Day, 5 decades of work to alter the course of the human journey, has not, as hard as we've all worked, and I know everybody on this wonderful celebration is part of the movement to shift the trajectory of the human family and the consumptive patterns that are ravaging our mother. I know we've all worked on that, but 5 decades of that work, and in 5 weeks, the virus has done more to clear up the environment. So another shaman has called this not a punishment, but a cleanse, the announcement of the greatest cleanse that we've ever had before. Cleansing habits that are no longer useful to us, cleansing ways of thinking that are no longer useful to us. Not only do we wash our hands more than we ever had before, there's an opportunity like this beautiful evening provides for us for mental hygiene, for cleansing those ways of thinking that are unhealthy, that don't serve, and are inconsistent with a sustainable future for all life. So to me, the virus, as tragic as some of the consequences are, it's a huge, incredible teacher, blessing, message, ally from the earth herself. Thank you so much for including me.
Thank you very much. And I'm actually wanting you to let people know, how do they register? If you could please tell us, Lynn, just a little bit about the summit that you're putting together and how people can register for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I was going to say that. I forgot. So we at Pachamama Alliance are having a Voices for the Earth Summit. It's on the screen now, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, but also to invite some of the great voices of our time to look at how do we move out of this pandemic, out of this big reset and pause, into bringing forth an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, socially just human presence on this planet. And it is on Wednesday, Earth Day, and we have, it's woven together with some of the shamans that we work with, Indigenous leaders, and people like Van Jones and Paul Hawken and Angel Kyoto Williams and Annie Leonard from Greenpeace and Charles Eisenstein and Mark. And, it's going to be awesome. And Jojo Mehta from Ecocide. So please join us, and you can go to pachamama.org and register. Thank you for asking about that.
Absolutely. And thank you. I love the Pachamama Foundation, everything that you're doing. Every time I go, I cry at the luncheon, and it's a beautiful, beautiful organization that's so powerful. So thank you, Lynn, for all the work you've done.
May I say one more thing, Scott? I'm also starting a course with the Soul of Money Institute to help people deal with the situation we're in. So I want to, that'll be on my website too pretty soon, soulofmoney.org. So the Pachamama Earth Day Summit is Wednesday, and the course that we'll be starting will be in a few weeks. Just want to say that, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And, you know, we're creating community here, online community. So this is where we're going to want to know what Lynn and Tina Malia and all the people, presenters are offering. We're going to keep getting that information out to everybody as we all take hands and walk through this digital forest together. I also am really excited to present our next musical offering. It's Jai Uttal, and he and I were reminiscing. I saw him play at House of Blues on Sunset Boulevard about 22, 23 years ago, something like that. So it's great to come full circle and have you with us today. Thank you very much, Jai.
Thank you so much. I feel very happy and very honored to be part of this gathering. In regards to the question of what Mother Earth is doing, you know, there's Lynn said it all very succinctly, and there's so much to be said. But I'll just offer a perspective. You know, corona can very easily be transmuted to the Sanskrit word karuna, which means compassion. So I've been calling the virus Karuna Ma, the mother of compassion. And knowing, not knowing all the time because I get as uptight as anyone, but deeply knowing the rightness of this great timeout and great cleanse. I would love to offer you a chant and hope that you guys would sing with me. The words are Shri, which is the name of the goddess, Ram, which is one of the names of God, Jaya, which means victory. So it's Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Victory to Goddess, victory to God. Yeah, so join me. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Syamar Ramachandra ki jai, Ravana Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Satguru Deva Bhagavan ki jai.
Thank you so much, Jai. And I want to let everybody know that there's an opportunity to hear full concerts with Jai Friday night, April 24th, Friday night, May 1st. And I've got it up on the screen. Jai, is there anything you'd like to share about what takes place on those Friday nights?
Yeah, it's Friday 4 p.m. California time where we are, and it's May 24th. I'm sorry, April 24th, May 1st, and May 8th. And I sing and I tell stories and share some songs, some of my songs in English, devotional songs, and basically we hang out and stay close while we're physically separated. I just encourage and hope for us all to stay close in our hearts. And I do it over Zoom, and you can find the registration on my website, which is www.jaiuttal.com.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jai. We've got about 350 people, more than 350 people here in the webinar room, and hundreds, maybe even thousands more watching on Facebook. And they're all, I'm sure, appreciating you very, very much.
Well,
Thank
I'm
you.
appreciating you and everybody and Deborah and all the oh, Tina, it was so beautiful to see Tina. She's my buddy, and I'm appreciating you all so much.
Great. Thank you. Well, the howling in the background, I don't know if people's local things have the 8 p.m. howling happening, but I can hear the howls in the background of my neighborhood. And I'm going to turn it over to a very wise woman, someone I've known for years. She's brilliant, to give us our first wisdom jewel of the night. It's Samantha Sweetwater. And Samantha, you're still muted.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
We sure can.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love that it's 8 o'clock and the Howl for Humanity, Howl for All Beings is happening right now. That's so beautiful. In this little moment that I have with you all, I want to share a message that I get really consistently from the earth that feels even more relevant now than it ever has. And that is that she has always told me, she's always come to me and she has said, I love you guys. You are the cutest, sweetest, most creative, amazing species. And that we are in fact a favored species of this planet is such a profound reminder right now as we, sit in this crucible of her co-creation. I love what both Lynn and Jai shared, and are invited to decontract all of our dysregulation and re-regulate in greater coherency with what made us. We are her children. We are beings who co-evolved in the wholeness of the Gaian mind and the Gaian womb and the Gaian ecology. And her message so consistently to me is that we are simply an immature and heavily creative species, just beginning to learn what we can do that is truly coherent with that creativity. So the message she offered me today, which was very specific, was to take this time to co-regulate with her, that's actually the design, that humans are designed to co-regulate with humans. We know this, but we're even more profoundly here and designed to co-regulate with all of life. That's what I wanted to share tonight. And thank you for having me on.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Samantha. One of the things that makes this so wonderful is it is a community effort. We get to hear from people like Samantha and music. And I've just put the spotlight on someone who's come on board to support Deborah and I as our co-producer, the one and only Kenny Kaufman. And next week, it's going to be the Kenny Kaufman New Living Expo show. And we'll talk more about that later. But I just want to thank you, Ken, for all the support you're giving us. And Ken's going to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Scott and Deborah and everybody who's here helping create this and make it as special as it can be. So Paul has been one of our favorite speakers in Whole Life Expo and New Living Expo for many, many years. And he is a speaker, an author, mycologist, medical researcher, entrepreneur. He's considered an intellectual and industry leader in fungi, habitat, medicinal use, and production. Paul's philosophy is that microdiversity is biosecurity. His passion is to preserve and protect as many ancestral strains of mushrooms as possible old growth forests from the Pacific Northwest. His research is considered breakthrough by thought leaders for creating a paradigm shift for helping ecosystems worldwide. Paul is the author of 6 books and has received numerous awards. His new film, Fantastic Fungi, is a must-see for everyone interested in life, death, and the pursuit of the planet's well-being, as stated by Forbes magazine. Currently, he is testing extracts for rare strains against the wide panel of viruses pathogenic to humans, animals, and bees. And without further ado, Paul, please take it over.
Well, thank you. I'm very honored and blessed to be here with such a wonderful community of people. And what Samantha said really resonated with me because when I was a young man, I first had an extraordinary experience on psilocybin mushrooms. And there's a psilocybin mushroom revolution going on right now across the world with people awakening to the fact that we are interconnected. And many of the listeners may not know that we are descendant of fungi. 650 million years ago, fungi gave birth to animals. And fungi were the first intercellular, the first multicellular organism. And so these fabrics, so these filamentous cells spread out throughout the ecosystem, setting up the microbiomes and give life as we know it today. They create the soils, and the loss of soil integrity, the loss of biodiversity, deforestation is dismantling the ecological foundations that have gotten us here today. And so the COVID virus is coming from the collision of the intersections of the human habitation with forest ecosystems. And at that interface, these ecological communities become immunologically impaired. And so zoonotic diseases are spreading from animals to infect us. But what I have learned over my lifetime is that we all share a unified consciousness of being. The soils that we walk upon have a consciousness. They know every footstep that you take, you leave an impression that reverberates throughout the communities. It's been recently discovered and affirmed what indigenous people have known for a long time. Lightning strikes create mushrooms. It's just been determined that sound creates mycelial mats to grow. So think of this. Since so much of the food web is dependent upon the integrity of mycelium that creates the soils that we're dependent upon, when you have drum circles, when you have chanting, when you have singing, these filamentous membranes that are all around us are sensitive to those vibrations, and they respond to rejoice for the music that we're creating, for the drum beats that are emanating throughout the ecosystem, from the thunder and the lightning. This creates and reverberates the mycelial networks then that surge in their growth. And by doing so, they upchannel nutrients to plants and give birth to stronger ecosystems that can withstand catastrophia. This is not the first pandemic. It's not going to be the last. But this is a lesson for all us to take quite seriously, that we can reframe our priorities. And so I see this viral pandemic as being a blessing in disguise. It's a wake-up call. It is so important that we pay attention to the importance of biodiversity and the fact that we need to replenish our soils by regrowing our forests. Deforestation is robbing the menu of food from the mycelial networks that create the soils that give us life. And so many of you know about the decriminalized nature movement. I'm a strong supporter of that. It's happening all over the United States and increasingly all over the world. This is a time for a revolution in the ecology of consciousness. And these sacred psilocybin mushrooms in particular, which are not addictive, people only use them once a year, once every several years, but they're paradigm shifting and waking our consciousness up to the challenges that we face today. And what Samantha said epitomizes some of the lessons that I have personally have felt. So I just want to thank you all. Bless you. You know, be hopeful, be courageous, be kind. This is the lesson of mushrooms. People that use these psilocybin mushrooms are kinder and more courageous and more intelligent people. And we need more of them.
Thank you, Paul, so much for all your work for so many years. Amazing. And he has been doing this. And if you guys haven't seen his movie, Fantastic Fungi, you have to go see it. It's the rage and everyone's seeing it now. So thank you for giving us this consciousness that we just take in and we go, wow, it's like a grok. We totally get it. Thank you so much, Paul. And do you have a slide for Paul, Scott? Okay. Maybe we'll put that up there. So the next thing we're going to do is laugh a little. During these times of challenge, the most healing thing you can do, one of the most healing things to do, is look on the funny side and laugh. And I deeply appreciate those people in our world that can make us laugh. And this person coming up next is extremely humorous. And what I love about him is he has truth and cleverness in what he delivers. But Neil Rogan is also a multi-award winning writer. He's a filmmaker. His work has touched millions of lives. He's written for documentaries that have been nominated for Academy Awards, and he's received National Emmy Awards. And he's also a founding member of Pachamama Alliance. And he does those videos too that we all see at Pachamama Alliance and love. And every time I'm with him, I have a big smile because he's always quipping something. So we're so happy to have with us Neil Rogan. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you. Oh, it's really a pleasure to be here. I want to start with first take us out to a larger context and ask, how's everybody's incarnation going? I want to remember that your current incarnation is just something you're passing through. Your birth certificate is actually a temporary visa. So just realize that you are currently living your next previous life. Okay, so who would have thought, even like 30 days ago, that we would end up all being invited to this surprise global pajama party? I love it. You know, thanks to Zoom, I've seen more people in their bedrooms than I did in my 50-year career as a peeping Tom. So here we are, a few days before Earth Day, and which I call the other Mother's Day. It's because both days are about mothers being celebrated by their children. Mother's Day is about celebrating everybody's mother, and Earth Day is about celebrating the mother of everyone. So what the heck is going on Mother Earth right now? What this disturbance, what's happening? You know, we kind of like can be thrown off by it. You know, to paraphrase Robert Kennedy, some look at the world and ask why, and I look at the world and I ask, what the fuck? How do we make sense of all this? How do we deal with? How do we include it? Where do we fit in? So I'm going to tell you a little story. It's about an actor living in New York, looking for work, couldn't find any, and he gets a call from his agent. His agent says, I think I got something for you. He says, what is it? He says, well, it's opening tonight. The guy got sick. You'd be the first one on stage, and you've got one line. He says, what's the line? What's the line? He says, the line is, hark, I hear a cannon's roar. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. So I can do that. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. He starts over and over. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. He says, get to the theater. Gets in the bus. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. Hark, got it. Gets to the theater. They put him in makeup. They put an uniform on him. He's going, hark, I hear a cannon's roar. They put him out on the stage. The overture is starting to come to an end. And he's sitting behind the curtain going, hark, I hear a cannon's roar. Hark, I hear a cannon's roar. Hark, and the curtain comes up. And there's a cannon's roar behind him. And he goes, what the hell was that? The point, dear friends, is that for decades, our community has been holding a vision, praying for, working diligently to bring forth a new world out of the old, a transformation from fear to love and from disconnection to connection. We've been so totally focused on this, trying to stop this destruction of our planet. And then suddenly this happens. What the hell was that? Well, that was the sound of our mission. That was the sound of an opening for us. It was the sound of our time arriving. And so I know that there's a lot of talk lately about getting back to normal. And I got to say that what we've been doing to this planet before the virus could not be called normal. It's like saying a drug addict saying, can we get back to normal so I can shoot up again? So this has been like a tranquilizer dart in the neck of this industrial monster that's been eating our planet. And now it's a parenthesis, a pause, a kind of old outmoded worldview that's giving way to this rising planet view of inclusion and love. So, yay. Of course, our politicians have found a way to display a whole new level of what I call leadership. I mean, they call it a pandemic, right? But let's call it what it really is. It's a plague of biblical proportions. And that's why I think Nancy Pelosi should march into the Oval Office with a staff and say, let my country go, or next time it'll be frogs. So I personally had to adjust myself to life. I signed up for a silent retreat, but I couldn't go, so I got the recordings. I also stopped referring to my bathroom with the name John. I changed his name to Jim because it sounds so much better when I say, I went to the gym 5 times today. Or if anybody needs me, tell them I'm in the gym. So I am a literary agent who's got one client. It's the only client I need. The client is God. And he's got a new book coming out. His second book. His first book was a huge bestseller. You know, they called it the Bible of religion. So anyway, his new book is a cautionary tale called Don't Make Me Come Down There. Oh, someone just handed me a note. Excuse me. It's from the virus. I'll read it. It says, hey, humanity, can we talk? I mean, virus to virus? I mean, think about it. We're only doing to you what you've been doing to the planet. So I'll make you a deal. We'll stop if you will. Thank you. And dear Gaia, forgive them, Mother. They know not what they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. And I want to thank you for the incredible service work that you do. I love the videos you've done for Pachamama. I really appreciate what you shared today. And Paul, Neil has a book out. Do you want to tell us briefly about your book, Neil?
Yes, it's called Delightment, Escaping the Solitary Confinement of Your Prisonality. And it contains, like, I think, short poems that I received over the years that seem to speak to people in a way that they really hear. And I would love to share it to you. The first line of the book is, the light at the end of the tunnel is a mirror.
Mm. Well, thank you. Thank you for being
delightmentbook.com. Thanks.
Absolutely. Delightmentbook.com. And I did show the graphic, and we'll show graphics for some of our key people at the end of the show one more time. You can also put it, always put into the chat box to all of our attendees. We've got about close to 400 people in the webinar room watching, and of course, people watching on Facebook. So that's a good way to let everybody know. And thank you again, Neil.
Thank you.
And now it's time for, we're going to really try and increase the different generations performing, presenting, and I'm really excited. I just met him this week. He came recommended by Deborah, and let's all get to know the music and wisdom of Cornflower.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. You're a little low, but it's okay.
Okay, great. All right, well, it's such an honor to be here. The song I'm going to offer tonight is With All Things, and please feel free to sing along if you feel called.
With I am the stars deep in the sky. I am the source of my own life. With all things, I am one. 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 I am the death, I am the stone, I am the river, I am the flow, I am the silence deep in the trees, I am creation within every seed. With all things, I am one. With all things, I am one. With all things, I am one. With all things, I am stand firm on the ground and let your voice ring loud. When we're born into the world, we're born into the sacred spiral. The soul is open wide, open up and dive deep inside. With all things, I am one. 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 With all things, I am one.
I am one.
Wow. Woo! Cornflower, so much love. Isn't he amazing? He's a master of looping, as you guys can see. Yes, and a total concert with him is a total experience because he takes it up a level, up a level, up a level, engages everyone. So, and he's going to come back again and do another song a little bit later. So, so thank you so much, Cornflower. And what we're going to do now is one of my most favorite parts of this evening that we have done every time. And it's bringing on our spiritual guide for the evening and the meditation. Because as we all drop in deeply and meditate together in positive intention, as we know, we can create a lot of healing, a lot of change, a lot of positivity. And so every time we're going to be inviting a spiritual teacher on, and we joined a couple weeks ago with a massive global meditation where there were millions meditating all together. And so tonight we've chosen a very special woman who is a spiritual guide for us in the Bay Area, but she's also internationally known. And she teaches and transmits a holistic approach to spiritual surrender and non-dual realization based on a practice she calls ego relaxation. But the main thing that she carries so beautifully in her essence, and when I'm around her, I feel it so much. I become it so much, I am it, is grace. She transmits the healing power and the divine presence of grace. So right now we're going to bring in Miranda McPherson, and she's going to give us a transmission and lead us in a deep meditation that we can all join together. And I think there's about 350 on now, and probably hundreds, thousands on Facebook. And this is really an opportunity for us to come together in our souls right now and join Miranda as she leads us in divine expression. Thank you, Miranda.
Thank you. And hi, beautiful people. It's really just a pleasure to be here with you. And I've been so delighted and inspired already. And thank you just for that totally groovy, fantastic little piece we just had there. I so enjoyed it. And in a way, it's a perfect segue for what I want to talk about, which is how we can really say yes, rise into what I consider to be the divine invitation of this coronavirus pandemic. I want to start with a quotation from Hafiz, rendered by Daniel Ladinsky. I know many people will be familiar with Hafiz, but this is one of his poems that I think really cuts to the quick. He said, "You've been invited to meet the friend. No one can resist a divine invitation that narrows all our choices down to just two. Come to God, dressed for dancing, or be carried on a stretcher to God's ward." Now, of course, that word God means different things to different people, but in the context of this poem, I'm really talking about our true nature. You know, what you and I and all of us and nature, everything is fundamentally this primordial purity and goodness and love and mystery that just is. And as we've heard by so many of the other wonderful speakers tonight, you know, that true nature, the fundamental nature of what you and I are, is not separate from the fundamental nature of nature itself. It's not real estate. It's not your true nature, my true nature, Mother Nature. It's all one divine nature. And so I feel immense compassion for the suffering of so many people who are dealing directly with the virus, or have lost loved ones, or who are on the front lines, or who've lost their job and are scared and stressed. And we need to not whitewash that, but be really deep and real and compassionate and fully human with it. But at the same time, to recognize that we have an incredible invitation here to wake up, and to wake up out of habits, ways of being, strategies, fears, unhealthy patterns that we've all gotten caught into on a personal level, and to really take this time to review what isn't working and be willing to let it go. And at the same time, collectively, we have this opportunity for an incredible reset. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but ultimately, I think we all know that we needed that reset. And so this time, as I see it, is about really being brave and really being real and really being willing to meet everything with an open heart, with, you know, clear, open mind. And what really helps us to do that in a real way, to address the fears and the concerns that we have, and to be flexible with the winds of change, and to learn to open and soften and allow what needs to be allowed to die, and what needs to be welcomed, is when we recognize that you and I and everything and everyone exists within something that's so much larger, that we all exist within a ground of grace. Consider this: every day the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and a press release from you or I is not needed for these things to happen. Every day seeds unfold into all kinds of plant life. We've heard from Paul the extraordinary nature of mycelium and what that does. We know that our parents found one another interesting, and that somehow we came to be here, and that somehow we're interested to find a new possibility, a new way of living. And here we are together. And this global pandemic is offering us an opportunity to really break down the falsity of me versus you, separation in all of the ways in which we find it, and to truly learn to live and think and act as if every single thing we say and think and do matters, which it actually does. And so what really helps us to relax out of egocentricity, out of fear and control, is really recognizing this ground of grace that causes everything to be here, that causes the plant kingdom to compassionately absorb your carbon dioxide and give us back beautiful, life-giving oxygen, clean air, and to recognize that we are already within something so profound, so loving, so intelligent, so life-giving, so beneficent. And the work is just on recognizing it so that we may fully ground ourselves in that within us which is never rocked and doesn't change. And that can give us the strength and the resilience and the courage to open our heart to whatever it is that we find within ourselves, to address concerns and fears compassionately, and to really rise into this divine invitation and be the graceful human beings we've been put here on earth to be. So I want to lead us into a simple meditation that is about relaxing in to this ground of grace and receiving all the nourishment and the sustenance we need. So I invite you just to take a couple of deep breaths, to sit back in your chair and to sit in a way where your feet are on the floor or you're at least connected to the ground. So just wiggle your toes a little bit so that you really bring your awareness into the actual sensations of your feet on the ground and really see how that is. Let yourself feel there is ground and it's independent of your thoughts, of your mind, of your past. And so on your inhale, just see if you can drink the fact of that ground, receive it. And on the exhale, feel yourself melting in and down, away from thoughts, judgments, opinions, and just into the felt sense of your feet on the floor, your body on the chair. Just let everything settle into the direct immediacy of this moment. So take in not just the ground that you can feel with your feet, but what we know of what the earth actually is. We know that below the crust of the earth, there is mycelium, there is rocks, raw elements, water. And right at the very center of the earth, there is this molten lava. And that all that is below us is this infinite intelligence and power and pure life force that is so profound and so loving and so beneficent, and that it's hanging out in infinite space within a galaxy that is more vast than we can measure. And right now, you're in it. You are already abiding within and part of something that is not a thing, but is pure presence. And so feel that which truly supports you. Feel as if you are grounded, not just within the surface of the earth, but with everything that causes the earth and all of its manifestations to arise. And that is your foundation. That is your power. That is what supports you. Just to be here right now. To let fear, control, judgment, concern. All of the challenges, all of the uncertainty, all that can relax, melting down into this ground that is a ground of grace. It supports you completely to be as you are, to find true refuge. To take a couple of breaths and feel that immensity, that which you're part of. That which gives you a stable base in the infinite. Together, may we ground and become stable in the infinite source of it all. That we may open our heart to everything that arises and be grown into a deeper, wiser, more responsive and graceful human being.
Thank you so much, Miranda. And I've brought up a visual where we can learn a little bit more about what you're doing.
Actually, if you could just bring the visual up, because you can't see my website, the actual address of my website.
There we go. How's that?
No, you can't see my website. It's mirandamcpherson.com.
We can see your website, Miranda. It's good.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So I just want to share that I'm leading a couple of virtual retreats at home, and they've been just really beautiful. So if people are interested, then please check it out.
Thank you so much for taking us into this very deep place. It's just such an extraordinary, amazing group of people with us tonight. Each and every one of you is just opening hearts so wide. And we have gotten hundreds of comments in the chat box of people thanking us. So thank you very much. It's also all over Facebook. So thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to my partner, Deborah, in a moment. But I want to remind everybody once again, if you've come in a little bit late, please share what's happening on your Facebook page. We've got about 375 people watching live in our webinar room. So all of you, please post it on Facebook. And for those of you watching on Facebook, please share this. You can always, if you came in late, you can always go back to the beginning and watch. And so I want to now turn it over to my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott, for all you do to manifest this amazing creation as well. Thank you. And I want to share with everyone that how this started is all of the community got together to help a beloved friend, musician, global troubadour, Fantuzzi, because he was experiencing a lot of debilitation from getting Lyme's disease. And so that's how we initially came together. And by the power of community, by everyone donating to him, we were able to raise thousands of dollars for him to get new treatment. And he's actually doing better. He shared with us that he's getting ahead of it. So it's been really great. And from that, Scott and I said, wow, this is really an amazing thing. This is something we should have every Saturday night and bring our community together and showcase all the amazing talent and wisdom, comedy, do this meditation every night. So that's how this got birthed. And we were wondering how we were going to fund it and what we could do with it. So we've decided to create a GoFundMe campaign, which we have now for Global Peace Tribe. And we're going to use the power of the gifting economy because we're in a new paradigm now. A lot of things are going to change. We're going to do things in a different way. And some of you know about the gifting economy if you've gone to Burning Man. It's where basically you just gift the universe, your friends, and then they can gift back to you their level of what they've received or what they want to do. So this gifting gets passed around. So we've created the GoFundMe campaign for the Global Peace Tribe, and we ask you to donate so that we can pay our expense of this and be sustainable. But also we're going to keep the gifting going, because being able to help Fantuzzi and potentially other people in our community and people that are very devastated by what's happening now is so powerful. And it's the power of community that can create this kind of healing. Because if everyone pings whatever they can, then that goes into supporting this going forward. And we're going to help people in our community and donate to organizations that are helping people in our community. Because that's how tribes work. They support the people that are the weakest link in the tribe so they can come up and we can all come together. So please help support our GoFundMe campaign so we can continue and spread the love and spread the wealth. And then we'll keep continuing, hopefully through the lockdown and possibly beyond, because as you know, this Zoom reality, virtual reality is going to be developing and can connect us in ways that we can't in other ways. So we're really going to keep following it and investing in it and supporting it.
Thank you very much, Deborah. You know, a previous GoFundMe that I started, that many of you supported, was for Trevor Miller. And we raised over $30,000 for Trevor to get the essential treatment he needed for cancer. And Trevor is watching right now from Australia. He is one of the people in our webinar room. And he's still with us because of your support. So thank you for supporting Trevor to get the treatment he needed. Thank you for supporting Fantuzzi. And we're going to continue to support those members of our community and also charitable organizations. And if there's anybody that you know that's really, really struggling, let us know. Also, any charitable organizations that are really supporting our community, let Kenny or Deborah or I know so that we can build that base. Thank you, everybody. And I've put the link into the chat box, and I'll keep peppering the link in there of where you can go to support or GoFundMe. And anybody who donates $50 or more, we're going to announce it, if you don't mind, over the air a little bit later. And if you don't want to be announced, then just put it in as anonymous. So thank you, everybody. And I want to thank Jan Kaplan right off the bat for getting us started, Celestine Starr for getting us started. Thank you very much.
And also they can go to GoFundMe website and just type in Global Peace Tribe. So that's the easy way to get there as well.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Global Peace. We are the Global Peace Tribe, and it is Saturday Night Live for our tribe. And we're now going to go to our next speaker. I'm really happy to have Shauna Bluestar with us. And Shauna, what is Mother Earth Gaia saying to you, and what do you want to share with us tonight?
Thank you, Scott. It's really great to be here with all of you. I appreciate this community and the organizers. All the presenters are wonderful. My name is Shauna Bluestar Newcomb, and I'm very proud to be of Indigenous ancestry. I'm Shawnee, Lenape, and Azteca. And I want to start by honoring the original peoples of the land. So wherever you may be in the world, just thinking about that and considering the original peoples and our free and independent existence since time immemorial. I want to say blessings to all of the people suffering at this time. Blessings to our beloved Mother Earth, Pachamama, Gaia. May we find compassion in our hearts and love and come together in the spirit of deep healing for our beloved planet and future generations. It seems like we're just in this really surreal time right now. And I want to say that we're going to get through this. Over the years, I've been receiving a lot of spiritual messages about this time, and I never thought it would be to this scale, but I feel like it's really powerful and amazing medicine. And I'll share a little bit of one of my messages at the end of my talk here. I don't have a lot of time, so I'll try to share just a little. I feel like we're just in this time of great changes, what some people call the great shift, the great turning. Our indigenous ancestors spoke of this time in our prophecies and our elders. This is a powerful time in our evolution on a powerful and personal and collective scale. The elders say that whatever we do to the web of life, we do to ourselves. We know that all things are interconnected, and this is an important lesson for all of us to remember. We honor the sacred ways and the connection to all living things, ourselves and each other. And this time of spiritual awakening can offer us more peace, peace of mind, greater meaning and purpose, even joy, when we start to look at a little bit differently. Over the years, I've been speaking about something called the Domination Code with my father, and I share insights on something else that I'm calling the Reverence Code. And I talk about a timeline and the time that was before, when we had harmony and balance, when we were connected with the earth and the spirit of all things. I speak about a hidden history that sheds light on a domination code system. And going back far enough in history, the original spirituality of this planet was the same all across the world. The original instructions taught us to live in harmony and balance with the natural world and each other with our deep spiritual connection. The domination code system introduced life-destroying and life-consuming values, which has brought us great suffering. When there's a view of nature as commodity or profit over people and planet, this has led to the ecological collapse, disharmony, and disorder on a personal and collective scale that we're seeing. And all of this now comes into question. So it's powerful to see in the past years that the shadow is coming to the light in order to be healed. And I think it's really important to notice and be aware of this. And the good news is that the pendulum is swinging back to the Reverence Code to help us come back into that much needed balance and harmony. The wisdom of our advanced knowledge systems of our indigenous ancestors offers us a way forward and a way of great healing. So this is a time for us to examine the ways we've been living and treating ourselves, and how we speak to ourselves and how we treat each other in order for us to heal on a really big scale. We're starting to see a change in priorities during this time of people over profit, human life valued over greed, but we still have a ways to go. I love that we're seeing just in this moment of pause, the earth is healing, it's regenerating, the atmosphere and the waters are cleaner, and the sounds of nature and the hum of the earth can now be detected. And all of these things are so beneficial to us as humans. So I just see it as a time of a massive reset, a time of celebration, bringing us the opportunity for our greatest evolution. There is great suffering. And again, my heart goes out to all people that have felt the effects of this. We all are. Everybody is going through this together. And what a powerful journey that we are on. This time is also a time for reflection, for moving from fear to love, and letting us have more time to just be and less time of doing and going faster and faster. We have the space now to sing and to dance and to play and to laugh and to cry. So it's just, I just find it really amazing to see people going back into their gardens and growing and being in nature. I love that we've also been seeing over the past years and bringing us into now that women are coming into their authentic power and men are coming into their hearts. And it's beautiful to see, and it's going to continue. And that's going to be very liberating and amazing and powerful. I also want to say that each and every one of you here, those of us all across the world, are change makers in your own way. We're on this journey together, and it's important to trust your intuition, listen to your dreams, and open your heart. It's okay to cry. It's good. Let it out. Spirit is guiding us. What is Spirit guiding you to do, to feel? Embrace what's calling to you. The world needs your special talents and gifts that only you have to give. And it's time to honor your unique gifts and talents as your sacred duty and share them with the world. I wanted to share just a bit of my message. I usually share the entire message, so I'll be quick, but I think it's powerful for people to see a little bit of what's to come. that we're in this time of evolution, a new direction. This is a time when people will begin to wake up to what they felt was missing before. They will let go of past angers, hatreds, hurts, and sorrows and begin anew. This is a time of renewal and to celebrate that there is indeed a shift. This is a time of coming together and support and community, and people begin to see the error in their ways. This is a truly powerful time. Next, we see that people find it less and less appealing to be in a world with chaos or violence or fighting, and their hearts really open up in a new way. This is when things start to shift on a large scale, and people come together to make big changes. There is no tolerance for hate, bigotry, slaughtering, hunting for sport, racism, and all of the isms that come from fear in the world. Suddenly, there is a new ideal for coming together and not about fighting the separateness. This is a new time of deep acceptance for differences and a realization of oneness on a bigger scale. So we're all in this together, and I love that we're co-creating a brighter future together. Thank you, all of you. Blessings and love.
Oh, thank you so much, Shauna. You know, I first met Deborah Giusti and Ken Kaufman about 30 years ago, when I was around your age. And it's wonderful to see the next generation, people like Cornflower and Shauna and Tina Malia, who's going to sing next. So I'm just really grateful for everybody, including our multiple generations coming forward. Thank you so much. And with that, I am turning it over to Tina Malia for another song.
Wow, Shauna, that was so beautiful. That was so inspiring. Hi, nice to meet you from here. So yeah, I'm just going to continue on. Everything you just said is exactly how I feel. And I'm going to share a new song with you all that I wrote here when this all started. It's the first time I've played it for anyone. And you know, when this first all started happening about a month ago, you know, there was all this panic and just, you could just feel the world, or the, you know, humanity just buzzing and buzzing. But every night as I went to sleep, I kept having this dream, and I was just sinking into the earth, and I could feel the earth just taking this deep breath, and just this sigh, and just this like, you know, and just this relaxing, this moment of needing to be so productive, you know, we're us little ants on the earth as humans just running around trying to achieve. And all of a sudden it's just stopped. And then the next night I just had it again, and I kept having this dream over and over, and I would just wake up so feeling so refreshed, you know? So anyway, that's what this song is about, and everything Shauna said. And this is called Lighthouse.
In the still beneath the sea, where waves and colors go to breathe, I went out looking for a reason for the yearning. What is this form if not to feel? What are these wounds if not to heal? Sure as this song it will reveal in seasons turning. Storms are lifting up, tie a ribbon to the sun, for the earth, for the water, for the ones you love. No more giving up, gonna make it to the harbor, burning like a lighthouse. Tangled in a rage for making house in a fallen cage. Please show me the right way to be living. What are these words if not to say? What are these hands if not to praise? Every door, every day we are given. Storms are lifting If you go walking out alone, don't let your arbors turn to stone. We are connected by the only thing that matters. What are these hearts if not to hold? What is this life if not to grow? I'll be your shelter in the snow. You be my ballast. Storms are lifting up. Tie a ribbon to the sun, for the earth, for the water, for the ones you love. No more giving up. Gonna make it to the harbor, burning like a lighthouse. Storms are lifting up. Tie a ribbon to the sun, for the earth, for the water, the ones you love. No more giving up. Gonna make it to the harbor, burning like a lighthouse. No more giving up. Gonna make it to the harbor, burning like a lighthouse. No more giving up. Gonna make it to the harbor, burning like a lighthouse.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
I want to come in for a moment because donations are coming in. And so thank you for the people that have donated. And we're going to kind of announce as we go along, but they are coming in. So after the next presentation, I'll come on in and talk about the people that have donated more than $50. And thank you so much. And Tina, you rock. It's so beautiful to hear your music. And she'll be back with one more song a little bit later.
And so now I'm going to introduce a woman that is an amazing icon that stands up for the earth on all levels, on activism, on spirituality, on all levels. And when we thought about who we were going to invite for Earth Day, again, this woman came in loud and clear. And I'm talking about Starhawk. She has made a career of being an activist for Mama Gaia. And she's also very deeply connected with the earth. She has been she's an activist, an author, a permaculture designer. She is the author of 13 books. One of my most favorite books, The Fifth Sacred Thing, which I think is starting to speak about what's happening now. And she never stops. She is always up for the next thing that's happening here. She came and was with us at Harmony Festival for many years, and I appreciate it. She now is doing the Earth Activist Training, which is teaching permaculture design, grounded in spirituality with a focus on activism. And you'll see her at the festival. She leads spiral dance and she leads deep ceremony. So thank you so much, Starhawk, for being with us and letting us know what you hear the earth is inspiring now.
Thank you, Deborah, and thank you for putting together such an amazing collection of incredible people and so much inspiration. It's so important, I think, at this time to have things to look forward to and to have these little markers that say, oh, this is a Saturday night. It's not just, what night was it again? What year is it? How long have I been here? I've thought a lot about this question. You know, it's such a contradictory time because so many people are suffering. And I think the people who are suffering the most, unfortunately, are, as always, often the most vulnerable and the people who have the least power in our society. You know, the deaths that are happening in nursing homes, the Black community has been impacted disproportionately. I know there was a call for prayer from the Diné Nation, for the Navajo and the Hopi people who've been really impacted by this, the immigrants, the people who are incarcerated, all of the people who this society has given the least power to, are often the ones who are suffering this the most. So I like to begin by acknowledging that, and begin by saying that I think for me, the lesson of the virus is that we are all deeply connected in very real life science ways, not just in spiritual ways. We are connected by our biome. We are able to infect one another. This virus knows no barrier of race or class. It seems to disproportionately infect the elders, but it also infects those who are younger as well. We are all human, and in some ways, our very susceptibility to this should be a reminder that we have a responsibility to take care of one another and to care for one another, and to meet each other with compassion, and to do what we can for one another. So I would like you to think for a moment. I think many people who are listening to this are people who have incredible inner resources. You know, people who are on this Zoom and on this Facebook and who are attracted to this are often people who have a practice or a meditation practice, or do yoga, or do some grounding practice or ritual practice that can help us through this time. But to maybe think for a moment about the people you know who don't, and the people you know, someone in your life is probably really, really lonely right now. Somewhere there is an elder who's all alone and might need help getting groceries, or just having someone to talk to. There might be someone in your neighborhood who can't go out or is afraid to go out and is hungry. So maybe take a breath and think about those people, and let us not just send them love and compassion, but let's make a commitment to do something in the real world, to reach out to them, to call them, to check in with people, to see who needs help, to offer that help. Because to me, that is the real grounded way in which we show up for Mother Earth, is by showing up for one another. When this whole thing started, I've been doing a magical activism online course, actually before this started and before everything in the world went online. And so it was right back at the beginning of March, we did a meditation to listen to the virus and hear what it was saying. And for me, what it was saying is, whoa, this is one of the tiniest things on the planet. It's like a minuscule little pattern that has arranged itself of molecules that you can't even see with a microscope. You need like an electron microscope. It's so, so small. And yet it has completely disrupted this whole thing we think of as our powerful civilization, as our culture. And I think the lesson is also one of humility, of remembering that we are not the most powerful beings and things on the planet, that nature is immensely resilient and also immensely more than we are. And we cannot imagine that we can, you can break a lot of laws, but if you start breaking the law of gravity, you're in trouble, right? And you can't ignore that. Nature has a reality that we need to understand, and we need to work with, and we need to be bound by. And when we do that, that's what we teach in our permaculture courses, is that when we take the time to listen and understand and work with nature and understand her laws and her rules and how she does things, then we can actually become what I believe we're meant to be as human beings, is nature's healing hands and her loving heart and her appreciative eyes that have this ability to respond to her beauty and thrill to her beauty. So I think it's also important in this time, you know, if you can get outside at all, if you can even look outside your window, to take some time each day and just stop and open up and listen to nature and hear what it is she's telling you, you individually, what is your unique calling? Because I believe we are all here in this time because we have a purpose. And, you know, in some ways, like, would you have wanted to miss this time? You know, this is like the climax of the movie. Everything's falling apart. Everything's, you know, collapsing all around us. It looks like we're doomed, but you know, in the movie, somehow the hero always pulls it together at the end. And this is the moment for us each to be that hero, and show up for the earth and do what we can. When this pandemic passes, we still have the crises of climate change, of inequality, of injustice, of racism, of all those things. But maybe this time of recognizing that all those structures we depend on can fall apart and we can get through it. Maybe that can help us navigate those other crises and bring about a world that is more compassionate and more just.
Thank you so much, Starhawk. And I'm bringing up onto the screen all of the amazing things that she's doing. Permaculture and Ritual for the Earth, magical activism, and a webinar that she's doing, a free webinar on April 20th. So there's a lot of wonderful things that you're doing, Starhawk. What's the easiest way for people to get a hold of you or to get details about all your programs?
Probably the easiest way is to go to my website, starhawk.org, and look on my schedule page. We are going to be doing a ritual for the Earth on Earth Day that everyone's invited to join in, and it will be a benefit for Earth activist training for our organization that teaches permaculture design with spirit and activism, and has a commitment to diversifying the permaculture movement by supporting Black and Indigenous people of color to take our courses and to be mentored into leadership. So thanks so much. And again, thank you for bringing together this amazing collection of people.
Thank you very much, Starhawk. And I want to, acknowledge that as we continue to shift this, it all started organically. And our first thing was like, okay, we got to bring in younger people. So it's not all people are Deborah my age. And our next step is we really want to bring in many more people that are Indigenous, people of color, people that are of different cultures. So that's one of the directions we want to go in. And I want to acknowledge all the people who've been donating. So it's going to take a moment because the donations are flying in. I want to thank Monica, Celestine, Yoshi, Deborah, Patricia, Rose, Johan, Claudia, Kathleen, Tiffany, and there's some guy or person named Anonymous who just keeps donating over and over and over again. So we're really appreciating that Anonymous guy or gal. And Kathleen just came in, Monica. So thank you very, very much for your support. All right, we're gonna have a little more comedy. And I have the honor to introduce Sherry Glazer. And I'm gonna now pull up what she wrote for me to say. Sherry Glazer is the award-winning star of many one-woman shows, including Family Secrets and Taking the High Road. But tonight, she's going to bring us one of her most beloved characters from Oh My Goddess, a comedy of biblical proportions. Some people call her Mother Earth, some people call her Mama Gaia, but tonight we just call her Ma.
I'm so touched. Everything you said is so nice to me, to think of me on my birthday. It's adorable, and I thank you. You made me cry so many times that you love me so much. And I know you were saying that it's the 50th anniversary of my birthday, but actually, I don't know if you know how old I actually am as the Earth. I'm 4.5 billion years old. Yeah, give or take 20 million years. I know I don't look a day over 4 billion years old, but yeah, this is a portrait of me when I was young. Yeah, I'm looking good, maybe 2 billion years old there. And I have to say that the last 100 years, oy vey, you've been killing me. But the last few weeks, I'm starting to feel a little better. So I thought I'd celebrate and dress up for spring and maybe share with you a little about where I come from, my mother. So I'm going to make a long story short, but see, my mother, she was cooking, and she had this table with all these ingredients on them, 100, over 100, and she had a big pot. And she was throwing in all these ingredients and stirring with a spoon. She threw in a couple of pounds of carbon, a cup of hydrogen, a couple of teaspoons of oxygen and calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, nitrogen, copper, gold, aluminum, stirring and stirring and stirring, and a little bit of salt for taste. And the first thing she made was an egg. Now, she whispered in that egg, "You matter." And she swallowed it down, and I was in that egg. She made me matter. Yeah. And there I was, floating in her warmth, and I could hear her heartbeat. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And I was connected to a cord. And all of a sudden I was born, and I was floating in space, and it was cold, and I was trying to remember all the recipes that she put inside of me was silica and calcium, magnesium, and everything I thought of, I made into rocks, and rocks came through me, and planets, and Saturn was very difficult. But anyway, there I was in the dark and the cold, and I was lonely. I wanted some company. I wanted someone to talk to. I wanted a family. And that's when I dreamed of him, your father. Ugh, when I first saw your father, he was something else, literally. He was light. He was energy. He was so fast, and he was hot. And we looked at each other for what seemed like 1 billion years. And he finally looked at me and he said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "I am, but you can call me Ma, and you must be Pa." And that's how that all started. And with his energy and his heat and my matter and our chemistry, I tell you, I think you should probably know that your father and I, we had sex. We had sex all over the entire universe for 10 million years. And you talk about your multiple orgasm, you don't know. That's how we got the Milky Way. And then I knew I was pregnant. I knew because of the Big Bang. And I was pregnant, and I said, "Let's settle down. I want to put some roots down." And that's when I became Earth. And you're right. In the beginning, it was hot, and it was very crusty. And finally, I was swelling and swelling and swelling, and my waters broke. And there was the Pacific and the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean, full of life. And then the water evaporated, and then came the rain, and then a rainbow and colors. And I said, "I'll decorate." So I started with green, and it's my favorite color, as you know. And I brought up the grasses and the bushes and the trees and the flowers and the fruit and the vegetables. I went all out for you. Mwah! I love you no matter what you do. And I'm going to provide for you no matter what you do. You can walk all over me. I don't care. I'll always be there for you. Always. You are my children. And I just wondered if you could do one thing for me, or two. If you want to love me and take care of me, you can kiss the ground you walk on, or you can come sit on my lap and just know that I'm going to hold you forever. I'm not going anywhere. And I don't know, maybe you could, all day long, oh my God, and God this, and God that, and thank God. And maybe you could maybe think of me from time to time and maybe call me. I wouldn't mind. Oi, what am I going to do with you? Ugh.
Thank you so much, Ma. I never quite realized that Gaia was Yiddish. It's a new understanding that she has a Yiddish persona. We'll put it that way, but it's quite wonderful.
That's the deep, it's the mother tongue. It's the mother language. And you should also know that I, as Sherry Glazer, also teach workshops in monologue. And if anyone wants to express something special and have their own, creative expression through these times, you can go to my website, sherryglazer.net, and I'll help you out.
Great. Thank you, Sherry. sherryglazer.net, and definitely pop that into the chat box. I'm going to go to gallery view. Let's all twinkle Ma, whom we love so very, very much. All right, it's time for some music. And we're going to go to Cornflower for his next song. Cornflower, you're up.
Welcome, everyone. This next song's called Walk Through the Fire.
Sometimes I feel these feelings within. Will I blow up if I saw what I have here? Will I burn alone inside of my cave, suffocating from all the fear that I created? It seems scary and beyond my strength to overcome these roadblocks of levity. When I breathe, I take off the cutting edge, walk across those coals to burn away all this rain. You walk through the fire, you come out much stronger. When you walk through the fire, you come out much wiser, brighter like the sun.
Thank you, Cornflower.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yay. And we're going to have a video from Cornflower a little bit later tonight when we transition from the end of the regular program and go into the kind of next stage. But for now, I'm going to turn it back over to Deborah to introduce our next speaker.
And we've had some amazing speakers, and we have one more keynote speaker. And this woman has been called the prophet of our time. She's a globally recognized teacher, speaker, healer. She's well known for her groundbreaking work of the chakra system that she teaches all over the world. But one of her core passions is being a spokesperson for Mama Gaia. She has a way of seeing the total universe of Mama Gaia and how it's all coming down. And I so look forward to hearing what you are hearing Mama Gaia speak to us now. Anadea Judith.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Welcome. Welcome to the initiation. This is just the beginning of the initiation, so fasten your seatbelts. This is our chrysalis moment. The initiate is stolen from his home and blindfolded and bound. We cocoon in our homes. This is our chrysalis moment, cocooning, that says the initiation is beginning. Prepare. Prepare yourself. Rumi says, sit, be still, and listen, for you're drunk and you're at the edge of the roof. And so Mama Gaia has said to us, sit, be still, and listen. Robert Thurman sent out a quote that said, like a good parent, Mama Gaia sent us all to our rooms to think about what we've done. And she really is giving us a profound lesson in who she is, that we are not separate from the earth, and the degree of our separation is the degree of our illness. When we burn her lungs in the rainforest, our lungs burn. And those who breathe foul air, their lungs burn more. This is not anything separate. We are all together. We are a unified organism, waking up. And this is our initiation to the next level. And the first step is the chrysalis, the cocooning, the going inside, where we can no longer be drunk on our consumption, falling over the edge of the roof away from Gaia. She is welcoming us back home. She is welcoming us back to stillness. If we want to get back to normal, she is welcoming us back to normal when the earth was peaceful, when the birds sang, when the sky was clear. But in our chrysalis moment, just as the caterpillar goes into that, and every caterpillar must do it sometime in their life if they're ever going to be a butterfly. In that moment, something happens as we are restricted from going out and being mindless and consuming. We are driven inside. We are driven to our core. We are driven to an awakening. And in the caterpillar chrysalis, biologists actually call them imaginal cells that begin to wake up in the caterpillar body when the chrysalis forms. And we are the imaginal cells connecting right now, and they find a new way of connecting. Well, maybe we're not connecting out on the streets and we're not connecting at big concerts, but we are connecting through the globe right now. There are people all over this world in this moment together, this moment when we are beginning to awaken in the chrysalis to who we are becoming. Imaginal cells mean that we all must imagine. We must imagine heaven on earth. That is what the earth is here to teach us, how to do it. We have the divine to assist us to moving back into its nature, which is always perfection. But in this initiation, our chrysalis time is a time of dreaming a new dream, Pachamama says, awaken the dreamer. We are awakening our imagination as to what is possible. So let's think of heaven on earth. Let's think of a new economic system. This virus is going to take down the economic system, and we will be forced to have a new one that's going to be on more solid ground. This virus is making us sick, but Mama Gaia is getting well. Her air is clearing. She's beginning to breathe. Fish are swimming in her canals and rivers. She is getting well, and we will get well if we take her medicine. The medicine of stillness. The medicine of quiet. The medicine of meditation, of yoga, of love locally in your community with your family. Really spending time with your children, with your husband, with your wife who might have gone off commuting to work, bringing it home, bringing it to the core. That's getting back to normal. And as we do that, the dream awakens. And the dream awakens and can propagate through this network that we are on right now of hundreds of people and thousands watching on Facebook. We are the network, and we can awaken our imagination to create this together. And when we both awaken and connect and meet each other heart to heart and learn to speak, which is what the internet is giving us, a platform to speak, the butterfly starts to form and the caterpillar becomes slimy. And hasn't money and politics gotten pretty slimy lately? And that slime will feed the wings. And it is the constitution running out. It's the disruption. It's the emptying out, the dissolution stage of the alchemy. And that dissolution gives us, the imaginal selves, a place to start to spread our wings and fly together. And as we spread our wings, we remember, we find out, we are birthed into who we are. But here's the thing, in the initiation, from the love of power to the power of love, from our adolescence to our adulthood as divine beings, it is also an initiation from the individual to the collective. Because what we're becoming is not just an individual, but a collective planetary awakening. And this time of the chrysalis is a time of getting it wired up, of seeing it, of connecting, of celebrating, of hearing music, of being devotional, of all the things that have happened this evening that has brought us together. So let us hold our vision as we press our hands together over our heart and hold our vision strong of a future humanity of love, of balance with the earth, of balance between God and Goddess, of coming to the heart above and below, meeting in the heart, meeting in our core, and transforming into the butterfly, rainbow peace tribe of the future. Welcome everyone to the initiation, and we have begun.
Thank you so much, Anade and Judith, that beautiful, beautiful way of helping us to understand, so inspired. And I'm putting up your image. And Anade and Judith, what are some of the things that people can get? Tell us about the Charge Mastery Program.
Well, this is an online program. I've been working with energy medicine all my life with the chakras, and this is all the exercises and theory of the psychology of our charge. And it's bound to change the way you look at things. But also, if you just go to my website, the thing that's dearest to my heart is my book, The Global Heart Awakens, Humanity's Rite of Passage from the Love of Power to the Power of Love. And I would give that book away free if you want it. Yeah.
Beautiful, thank you for that. Just so appreciating all the different elders, the younger people that are sharing with us. And one of the things that we're going to be doing with this program is we're going to start highlighting and introducing all of you to new organizations. And there's a new organization that I just learned about this week through Deborah Giusti called Forest Bathing. And forest bathing is a way that we can all connect with nature, others, and ourselves through the sensory body. Their mission is to make forest therapy widely available and accessible They're a connected global network of certified guides. And during the pandemic, many of these guides are offering these experiences virtually. People can actually join from wherever they are, even indoors. And there are virtual sessions on Earth Day taking place in Rio de Janeiro, Alberta, Canada, New Zealand, Arizona, and all over the world. So it's a really cool organization. And to offer a wisdom jewel and to talk a little, coming from forest bathing, Dr. Samuel Dismond. Samuel, we're not hearing you, unfortunately. So we just need to raise your volume up a little bit.
Testing. Can you hear me?
A little bit louder, a little bit louder.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Samuel.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm an investor and advisor to Forest Bathing International. And before the shelter in place, I have frequently found myself extremely grateful for the capacity to move from the structures we have devised for ourselves, we humans have devised for ourselves, office, home, very easily into the wonderful, easily accessible nature of Western Sonoma County. Found myself frequently deeply grateful for that, the way I felt inside myself. And that motivates my support for Forest Bathing International. I encourage everyone to check out the website, the network of guides that can provide a little bit of that body benefit through a virtual experience. As well, there's a variety of podcasts there that explain more about forest bathing and the network that's been created. And reach out to the executive director, Pamela Worth. She's very accessible. And so it's a body thing. So I don't want to stay or dwell in concepts too much, but I do want to leave you with 4 questions to ponder. First, why are trees the best networks? Well, it's because they're constantly branching out. How does a tree get on the internet? It logs on. What's a tree's favorite dating app? Timber. And how do humans connect with trees? FOBI, Forest Bathing International. I wish everyone a good night.
Oh, thank you very much. That was awesome. Thank you so much. We look forward to learning about your organization. And again, if you have organizations that are really in alignment with our different themes, and every week we have a different theme, let us know. I also am really excited to say that the donations are continuing to come in. So I want to thank Kathleen Gildred, Doug Hetrick, Anadea Judith, in addition to sharing, she's made a contribution, Christy Michaels, Yamini, Thomas, this person, Anonymous, just keeps popping up. Anonymous is very generous. William Florian, Gary Malkin, and Ava Lene. Thank you, everybody, for your donations. And please let's keep that coming in. It's really beautiful to see that happening. And it's time for our third and final song from Tina Malia. This is we're getting close to the end of our regular program, but we've got something really special after, which we'll tell you about after Tina's song. So it's my pleasure to turn it back over to Tina Malia.
Fires are burning, petals of a rose blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, sand and the soul, the life giver. So come on now, my friends, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. Reach for me like the petals of a rose blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, sand and the soul, the life giver. So come on now, my friends, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this. Fires are burning. Fires are burning. Ooh. So reach for me like the petals of a rose blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, sun and the soul, the life giver. So come on now, my friends, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. Reach for me like the petals of a rose blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, sand and the soul, the life giver. So come on now, my friends, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. 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 Hare Shiva Shankara Shishankara Shekhara Hara Bom 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 Bolo Baba Bhayankara Girija Shankara Dimi 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 Dakanantana Kelo Hare Shiva Shankara Shishankara Shekhara Hara Bom 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 Bolo Baba Bhayankara Girija Shankara Dimi 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 Dakanantana Kelo Hare Shiva Shankara Shishankara Shekhara Hara Bom 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 Bolo Baba Bhayankara Girija Shankara Dimi 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 Dakanantana Kelo Hare Shiva Shankara Shishankara Shekhara Hara Bom 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 Bolo Baba Bhayankara Girija Shankara Dimi 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 Dakanantana Kelo. If you could only believe, 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 if you could only we will heal.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tina Malia. Thank you so much. Your music has just been amazing. Absolutely amazing tonight. Thank you. Is there any, I didn't get a PDF from you. Is there anything that you'd like to let people know about? How people can get more of your music, have more experience of you?
You can go to tinamalia.org and I'll see you there.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tina
I
Malaya.
don't feel like promoting tonight. Let's just be together.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you. Well, I am going to promote next weekend. Next Saturday night, we are going to be collaborating with the New Living Expo, and it's going to be a great show. And to tell you a little bit more about it, here is the owner, creator, the man of the New Living Expo, Ken Kaufman.
Thank you so much, Scott and Deborah, and everyone tonight has contributed so much love and joy and peaceful. This is really what we need as this global pandemic is creating itself. We need to come together, and this is the greatest way to do that. So next week, I'm bringing in, we have Carolyn Mace, Carolyn Casey, John Gray, Daniel Sheehan, and Sanjay Neemar. And that's just to name a few of our special hosts. We're going to have world-class music. And then we remind everyone to really look in deep inside yourself to see what you can afford. Even if it's $5 for the GoFundMe campaign, your money's going to get well spent, more than you can imagine. So just look and see what you can do and just help support this cause, because we are truly doing some amazing work, and we want to combine everything that we're doing to help everyone that we can. So thank you again, and we'll talk to you next week when we reconvene.
Thank you, Ken. We're looking forward to that.
And I want to thank you so much, deep from my heart, all the presenters, everyone that stepped up, the musicians, all the people that are coming forward to help us, all the people that are donating. This is how Harmony started, like many, many years ago, and this feels like a Harmony 2.0. So this is what we're meant to do now, to gather and share online. So thank you all for being here, and stick around for Community Connection, because that's what's next. Scott, do you want to share about that?
We are going to have our community connection time. So if you're interested in sharing a 1-minute maximum about what Mama Gaia is saying to you, what she's inspiring you, what you need to do is send me a private message in the chat box. So this is for anybody in the webinar room, and we still have about 232 people in the webinar room. Send me a private message. Hey, Scott, I'd love to share, and tell me what you want to share. Just a sentence or two. We do want to request that we keep it to an inspiration of what Mama Gaia is saying to you, and to not go too political, but really personal, you know, really keeping it that way. We want to hear from each of you.
Okay. So I want to honor everyone here, and I love that we have such a wide variety of community around the world. And so this is for the mother. This feather has been with me in ceremony. It's been tipped by the sun. It's a prayer feather that's been with me for 40 years. It's been in the deep forest up in Middletown called the Buddha Canyon. And so I want to offer a sacred prayer to the Great Mother. Ho ho neheshige. Ho ho, Great Mother. I pray, I open my heart to you, and I ask that you bring forth your loving splendor. As you always do, you call me deep into the center. I go deep into the center of your crystal heart. I pray for all of the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds and the birds and the waters. I pray, Mother, deep, open my heart, guide humanity. As we turn the wheel of time, let us hear your voice in the waters, telling us the truth of truths of truth. May we hear the sounds of the birds calling in our heart, guiding us ever further down the road to the higher mountain where we can see and feel you as you take us into the heavenly realms. May we know you deep within. May we play the songs and sing the songs that bring the energies up for healing for all. In this moment, Uramaye heyo na ye 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 ye. Ho namaye ho ne ye ye ye. Sheno me yo ne heya. Sheno me ye ne me. Ho na no ye ye ye. Ho na ye ye yo namaye. May the blessings of all that we have shared tonight be held in a gracious basket of love. May it be shared with the world. We are so illuminated. I love you all. We are so amazing. You touch my heart. Your prayers are in this feather, and I will walk with your prayers. I will walk with your love and your songs. Thank you. Aho.
Oh, thank you so much, beloved Celestine. Thank you. My soul sister, we were born within hours of each other. Yamini has reminded me to just let everybody know that there's going to be a global peace prayer tomorrow. Tonight at 11 p.m. and tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then again tomorrow night at 11 p.m. It was put together by Bruce Lipton and Rashid Buttar, and they're hoping for 1 million people all over the world. So remember to tune into the global peace prayer. We are going to bring up next, Dr. Future is with us. Dr. Future's in the house.
Well, thanks for a great show, you guys. Scott, Celestine, Deborah, Ken, what a great job. I really appreciate your work. And I'd like to add to it a little bit, a couple of things about Earth Day. One, because of the coronavirus lockdown, the Earth's seismic crust, we can actually hear it much better now. Where the ocean hits the shores, the sounds of the Mother Gaia, our scientists can now hear them and study them. They used to have to put a microphone 100 meters down into the earth to hear anything. Now they can get it from the surface and get all the great surface sounds of Mother Gaia. The small seismic earthquakes, the oceans, the way the trees move, even all these things are now available to us. So it's very exciting for scientists in that realm. We have been now, this is our 16 years off the grid. We have not used PG&E for 16 years up here in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And it's great. The alternative energy has never been as good as it is today. Because we're a pioneer in this, recently we were featured in this magazine, Santa Cruz Style magazine. It has a big article called When Less is Enough. And that's a view of our house in the Santa Cruz Mountains there. And that just came out in the midst of all this virus stuff. And it's kind of exciting because we can now hear the Mother Earth better than ever here. We have no airplanes, no cars at all. And we could hardly hear cars anyway, but now, so I really recommend we get out there, if you get a chance to go out and just be in nature, because it's never been so pristine in a way in our time and space. So that's what I like to share with you this evening.
Oh, that's fun.
Bigger
That's
movie.
fun. Yeah, thank you so much. So we're going to bring up Deborah Haviland in a moment, but I'm so happy to put on my good buddy Trevor Miller first. All of this started with the fundraising. Really, it all started with our raising money for Trevor. And then that led to raising money for Fantuzzi, and that led to this incredible global celebration. And there he is, all the way from Australia, our beloved Trevor. Hey, partner, we are seeing you and want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm having a wonderful time at my sister and brother-in-law's place. I say wonderful because it's my family who I haven't seen for at least 12 years. And I haven't really been connected to Australia for close to 30 years. So it's almost like coming to a foreign country. I'm being treated very graciously like the returning lost son or the lost brother. And it just makes me feel very honored. But I'm realizing we're all in lockdown here. Everyone is, quietly doing the same as in America. We're all just trying to put one foot in front of the other, and we're not sure what the future holds. So here we are, just one happy family connected around the world now. This surfboard was the one I learned to surf on when I was a child, and my brother-in-law, Chris, he said, "Oh, that was such a wonderful classic. It's one of those giant Hawaii type surfboards you'd never see anymore." He said, "That's like a real keeper. Can I keep it as a kind of an art piece in the corner of the lounge room?" So here it is. So I've just been watching a big screen TV of what's happening around the world. Also, they're having other coronavirus connectivity parties and gatherings. So I'm just honored that we are really the new paradigm of how we connect, using our creativity, not going through the mainstream corporate world. We're actually just doing it ourselves in our own intimate, artistic way. And I'm sure we'll just keep on raising the bar and raising the quality of what we put together as a family, and we'll be each other's entertainment. So, you know, we'll go outside every so often for headlines, but overall we'll just be teaching ourselves the skills to learn for the new paradigm and bringing in outside wisdom, of course. So this is a wonderful, the Harmony Festival, you know, planted the seeds that a lot of us are family and tribe, and now, I guess Harbin Hot Springs was a wonderful place to begin, and many other sources. And now we're acting all the skills. We're putting into effect what we know in our heart is what we've always wanted, which is a sustainable world of sharing and caring. And in our own small seed planted, we're doing something that we never really had the real opportunity to do. And now nature, science, whatever you want to call it, has brought us here. And here we are living our truth.
Well, thank you, Trevor. It's great to see you, and it's great to see you healthy. How's your health? How are you feeling?
Well, it's a little catchy. It's a little dodgy because, you know, I left with a case full of medicines, and I knew there was a lot more that are being shipped to me from America. But the bottom line is I haven't got connected into the medical service here because there's a lot of red tape, like we all know. Every time it's to do with the government, it takes a lot of forms and a lot of meetings, a lot of waiting for this and waiting for that. And the virus hasn't exactly made things easier. But I'm just doing natural home protocols. You know, what is it that you have to do to keep yourself moving forward when you have to be reliant on your own resources? So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And I'm trusting that Mexico was a wonderful beginning, and they taught me a lot of basic truths.
All right. Well, we love you so much. Thank you, Trevor. It's great to see you all the way from Australia.
And Scott, it goes without saying that you were very instrumental in getting a GoFundMe for me. And if it wasn't for my tribe, which is watching me now, like Deborah and Celestine and so many others, that nameless others who I can't even possibly even reach out and thank. But I just want to say that we all came together for a common purpose for myself at one point, and Fantuzzi. And I'm sure there'll be other places where we'll help each other. And it's just a wonderful a template that we've created. And I do thank everyone who did whatever little piece they did, and we're all learning from each other. So thank you, Scott, and thank you, team.
Yeah, we love you, Trevor. One of the other people who I know really supported Trevor was Deborah Haviland in her way. So we're going to turn it over to Deborah to hear what she has to share in terms of Mother Gaia and how she's inspiring you.
Thank you so much. And yes, Trevor is such a special friend of mine. When I came from Maui in 2002, Trevor just welcomed me into his beautiful temple home in Anderson Spring Creek near in Middletown, near Harbin, the famous Harbin. Trevor, you created a masterpiece there. It was a masterpiece, gorgeous, brilliant Zen home with Buddhas and painted like persimmon inside, and the beautiful, and the beautiful porch. And he led me through the woods to this place to swim. And I just felt like, you know, you were talking about the other, well, anyway, just amazing experience. So I wanted to get on with, and it all relates to, for me, I'm realizing more and more as I travel this path, and I've been traveling it for a long time. And I have led, oh my gosh, so many retreats, I can't count them. But I'm really boiling it down to, it's all about awakening our soul. It's really about awakening to our soul, what we are here to do, and how we're going to give our gifts to the planet. We go through many different, lessons. And I also believe in healing, which I say to my dear brother, Trevor. I've been really tracking with him, and I'm ready to dive in all the way 1000% with you, Trevor. I'll spend hours, days, the whole time. It's about just getting down through the levels and the veils and the everything, and just bringing God in all the way. And I feel like you have such an amazing purpose here. You have such beauty to give. His name that CD gave him is Jamil, which means the beautiful heart. And my name, which this amazing guide of the ancient healing mystical order of the Chatelia Sufi system gave me this name, which I humbly walk into, which is Mujiba, which means the responsive one. God is ever near and answers our prayers. So I want to read you a quick Sufi prayer, short. And I'll skip the Sufi prayer, which is long. And, anybody can find me on Facebook. But just if, or Scott, is it, you're feeling the time thing?
Yeah, you've already gone for a couple of minutes.
Okay,
Deb.
so I'll just say that I love all of you. Prayers, Rumi poems, heart, blessings. I love you. God bless you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deborah.
And Alan Lundell, I've known him forever, ever.
It's our tribe. So we're going to hear from Rose, and then we're going to hear from Heidi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking me on for this. I wanted to share a couple tips and techniques that have really supported me to feel amazing during this time when it's actually challenging for a number of people. So number one, doing a daily practice. I've been getting up 6 a.m. every day to do my breath work. That's not reasonable for necessarily everyone, but to find some point in the day that works, like regularly. The other thing is to find in your posture, in your body, just noticing, is that in alignment? And so here is a secret trick from one of my mentors. It's something called the plumb line. So if you look, where's your ear? Is it in alignment with the shoulder? Is it in alignment with the hips? Is it alignment with the knees and with the ankles? And so if your body's plumb line is straight up and down, then your body system has the most availability for its own energy and own power to circulate through it. And so speaking of our own energy, our own power, one of the things I think about is how a happy, healthy system creates so many boosts for our immune system. And so one of the things, I have two small kids, toddlers, a 1 and 3-year-old, and we like to just have 20 minutes of like just laughter sessions, and we'll just giggle and laugh, or we'll say like fart, and then that's so funny for little kids. We'll just laugh for like 20 minutes and tickle each other and laugh. And there's things like laughter yoga, but laughter, smiling, really boosts the system, and it boosts our immune system. And so that being one thing that's really great tip. And then another, just like obvious for a lot of people, but just to be really grateful for that which what we do have. And so really honoring all the blessings that are in our lives, and even in this time of contraction, really noticing what it is that we do have, and respecting and honoring that more, so that we can be more satisfied and happy. And then that in turn creates our body systems to be more satisfied, happy, healthy, and strong.
Thank you so much, Rose. Wonderful to meet you. Thank you. And we're going over to Heidi, and I think Heidi's coming from Hawaii.
Okay, so I have 1 minute, and I'm gonna do this quickly. It's a Israeli folk song. I grew up with it. You sing it with groups of people and at really happy events, weddings, medicine circles nowadays, bas mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs. And I sang it at camp. Hine matov, what it means is, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. So hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gaim yachad. So I'll sing it kind of fast because I have 1 minute, and then I'll do kirtan. Well, I'll sing it and then you repeat it. So we'll just have fun. It's a song for peace and for people to be able to live together, dwell together in unity. So it's a really important song all the time. Okay. Here we go. Hine, hine, mahato, mahato, shevetachim, shevetachim, ganya, chad, hine, hine, mahato, mahato, shevetachim, shevetachim, ganya, chad. We'll do a little reggae like. Hine mato manahayim, shevetachim gam yachad. Lai lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai lai, lai 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 lai. La 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 la, hine, mahato, shevetachim, gam yachad. How am I doing on time? Hine mato manayim, shevetachim gam yachad.
Well, the music is beautiful. Thank you so much. Of course,
Mike, do you hear the Koki? Do you hear the Koki frogs?
we do. We hear the Koki frogs. You know, of course, what I've been taught when I'm in Hawaii is what they're all saying is, "I want sex. I want sex." That's what it means when they're croaking like that. They're looking for lovers. So just want to acknowledge those that are single in the world, croaking, looking for love, especially now that we are in isolation. So yes, we do love the croaking frogs. All right, Leah, you're up, and then Sharmila.
Well, that was super fun. I'm so glad I got to follow Rose and Heidi. I love Rose's energy. Where did she go? Anyway, it's great to see everyone. And thanks to Deborah and Scott. And hi, Ken. It's so nice to see you too. And also Trevor. It's really great to see how you look great. So I was asking Scott, I was saying that for me, Mother Gaia, it's all about remembering. And it's about the earth beneath us and how we're all these trees and we're all connected underneath. It reminded me of a really great tour I took of the Muir Woods, and the docent reminded us that underneath all of these remarkable trees was this incredible underneath root system. So if one tree wasn't getting enough water, well, the other tree would kind of send some water its way, you know? And through all of these different Zoom calls and seders and meetings, it's just been incredible to see the support that people are giving each other. I was brought aboard on a project that's this Monday on remembering the Holocaust. It's the 75th anniversary of that, of the liberation of the camps. And I was brought in by a woman in Sweden, Eva Lindberg, who's a friend of the tribe. She used to have the Tulip Temple here in Marin. And it's really reminded me about transformation and how your thoughts are your liberation. If your thoughts are fear-based or negative, or the sky is falling, well, that's really what's going to happen to you. If your thoughts are positive and glowing and loving and hopeful, well, that's what will happen to you. You know, the mind is the greatest Google of them all. It just wants to give you more of whatever you put in there. So I'm just going to leave it with that. You know, I'm really happy to be on this call. It was a wonderful time, and I hope to be on for longer. I'd like to be from the beginning to the end. So
Thank you,
Thank you,
Leah.
Scott.
And that's a great reminder. Absolutely. Now is a really important time for us to be very conscious. Where do we want to put our attention? We've got so many distractions that have been stopped and pulled away from us. So let's be very conscious about where we're putting our time and where we're putting our attention. For as you all know, energy flows where our attention goes.
And
Sharmila,
we have
were
a
you
nice
could-
little Facebook invite on my page for that virtual Zoom. So it's a wonderful long program of events about the Holocaust on Monday.
Okay, thank you so much, Leah, for telling us about that. And that's on Leah's profile page. Pop it into the chat box, okay,
Oh, great.
Leah?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you.
Okay. Sharmila, thank you so much for joining us. Where are you coming from and what would you like to share?
I'm down in Ojai, and we met last year during a telesummit that I was hosting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Good to see you again, Sharmila.
Yeah, good to see you too. Well, I just wanted to share, since this whole lockdown has been, like I said, I live down in Southern California in Ojai, is that, you know, I'm really good at relaxing and chilling out. And it's great that one of my other jobs is working at a spa, and unfortunately they had to close down. So it's just been great for me to like fully chill out and just focus on my own self-care even more so. And even though there's like other things I wanted to do, I can't seem to do it because I just need to focus on myself. And so that's what's been, I feel like that's what my connection to the earth is just really connecting more deeply to myself and just giving myself a break from doing any type of work, and just tending to my needs, tending to my cats, tending to my household. That's what I've been getting, and that's what I've been doing, just getting re-inspired again.
Thank you. Ojai is a beautiful place to be. It's a very beautiful place to be.
Definitely.
Well, we're about to wrap up, but just want to invite in our final couple of minutes. I'm going to bring Deborah on to say goodbye, and also would love to hear from people. We still have 135 people in the webinar room, plus 12 panelists. We've still got a lot of people on Facebook. So let us know, what did you enjoy the most? We've also created a survey that people can fill out to let us know what you're enjoying, what you're wanting more of, or less of, or kind of different themes that we're exploring. And one more time, I want to just thank some of the people that have donated. The donations are continuing to come in. Thank you, Leah, who we just heard from. She donated. Hyla Cass, longtime friend. Gary Berger, thank you. David Gardner, longtime friend in Hawaii. David Lieberstein, dear Katrina Valancourt. And God bless Anonymous. Anonymous just keeps giving more and more and more. So we're grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And before we close out, I'm going to turn it over to really, as I said before, the mama of this event, the mama of Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe, Deborah Giusti. Deborah, you're muted.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. You're all so beautiful. And here's my Shiva kitty to say hi. Mwah. And we're going to keep developing this, and we're going to partner with a lot of the festivals that aren't able to happen, possibly Lucidity, possibly Soul Play in the future, and other the festivals, and bring their content and their magic and network and be able to experience a lot more, and also network with a lot of the networks there. So we have a lot of ideas what to do. So your support financially is really great because it allows us to pay the expenses to continue this. And as we say, we also want to share the wealth with this. So thank you so much. And we'll just keep on going. So thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Twinklings for Deborah. All right. Now's the time to say goodbye for the evening. But please stay in close touch with us. We look forward to seeing you next week. We look forward to hearing from you. And let's really do our best to be as conscious as we can about where we're putting our time and our attention and our energy. And I also want to remind everybody that my company, Love Coach Academy, provides amazing support every day at 9 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening. We are doing programming. We call it Compassionate Talk, and it's a wonderful kind of a series. All of our different love coaches take turns pitching in and kind of presenting. And we have different themes. On Thursdays, we have self-love. On Friday evenings, we have recovery and addiction. And so if you go to lovecoachacademy.com, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen right here. I was so busy doing everything else, I almost forgot to do my own, share with you what we're doing. But if you go to lovecoachacademy.com, that's where you're going to be able to get all the program guide of what we're doing. And we're here to offer empathy and relationship skills. And right now, people are really being called upon to focus on the relationships. And so I just want you to get the support you can get the support you need. I'm a little punch drunk. Because let's face it, it's about focusing on a relationship to ourselves, our body temple, building our immune system. It's about expanding our relationship to whatever you may call it. It has 1,000 names: God, higher self, higher power. Really, a deeper connection is very important. And obviously our relationship to each other. For those of you that are all of a sudden spending much more time in your home or your apartment with your roommates, your family, it can be intense and difficult. And a lot of people are reaching out to me and to our love coaches for additional relationship support. And likewise, for people who live alone, it's kind of an opposite problem, feeling disconnected. And that's why we're doing these online programs, so you can come in and feel connected and get the support. So every day, 9 o'clock and 6 p.m., 9 a.m., 6 p.m. Pacific time. All the details are at lovecoachacademy.com. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you throughout the week. God's blessings.
The way your love's a present that you can bring everywhere you go. Well, it is effervescent and it is such a blessing that you can heal everyone you know. I see now, brother, will you let that flow? You gotta open up your heart and soul, because the world and everyone you know, they really need your medicine right now. I know you feel it, the power emanating from your spirit, a medicine so powerful, you know you got to give it like a present. Don't hesitate to wait too long to give it. Now's the moment. Just keep the love flowing like the wind. devotion here to bring a love divine. An anecdote to counteract the poison of the mind. So open up the book and let your pages unfold. Don't leave your story untold. Yo, you are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love. Now we need your love to heal us up. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love, 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 love. I say the road to the top is not the same unto your heart. So be careful of the path you're treading on. For the people of this world, I'll have a likeness to yourself and a lesson for your soul to remain strong. The light, it is a vehicle for all your inspiration, but the darkness also plays a major part. For the balance in the world will help you see a higher self, to bring the medicine, the hope to right the wrongs. Your life, it is a prayer, so someone tell me where, yeah, we can find a temple when your God is everywhere. It's not the things you wear or the music that you play, it's the quietude of mind to help to bring the lion's share. You see, people listen you, cause everything you do is devotion in the holy recognition of the truth. Yeah, and if we only knew the humble are the few, or you could bow your head and you could see it all in you. Well, yes, it's true. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love. We really need your love to heal us up. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love, 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 love. When we expand our awareness into every cell, we awaken the light. And now our presence evokes to all those whom surround the light inside. Never knew that our presence allows a doorway into consciousness. The deeper that you can go, the bigger the love can exist. Oh, you are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love. Well, now we need your love to heal us up. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love, 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 love. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love. You are the medicine that's been sent here to heal the world with our love, 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 love.